Okay, I thought it would be easier just to give you your feedback in video form. So here's the first slide. I can read the title and all your names. It might be nice to have some kind of graphic. Is it a medical cuff, or I thought the other thing was a watch, so I'm not sure. A kind of an imagination of what this would look like if we could sell it would be great. Even if you use somebody else's picture. All right. On this slide, yep, that's the outline. Don't spend any time on it during your talk. You can even delete this slide, as we all know what the standard outline is. So here's the background, or you could say it's the need. All right. And lack of low cost, it's easy to use, benefits. There could, like according to Kaiser, some kind of what are these benefits. It just looks a little bit done at the last minute. I'm not trying to yell at you or say anything, but without references or things like that, it can look like that. All right. Here's the previous work. Sure. And I just sent you the report. You can do things down, and this is part of what you're going to do as well. But we're not the only ones to do a smartwatch. I think a Google search will come up with some other recent advances in this area, and you need to show that. Okay, you can actually take a picture from the previous project group and put it in here to say, hey, we're going to shrink, or maybe put it right here. We're going to shrink this project down, and then add the data logging. All right, here's the objective: low cost medical devices, monitors, all this. This is great, but wow, some kind of picture, and it's a pretend picture because it doesn't exist yet, of what it is you're trying to do. Now here, if you look at the rubric, just listing it like this would only get you 7 points. It's what does each team member skill set. Does every team member have 127? Does everybody? And I'm not quite sure about 134. That's like PG&E level, but 174, 138, 136. Now, do you really need 120 here if you have 138? Is there anything from 124 in there, or is it really just 122? Okay, just put what's there, and each person has a skill set, so you're all kind of saying, well, I'm in charge of the power supply design, I'm in charge of coding the microcontroller, I'm in charge of the app. With those 5 people, you really need to spend time showing that you can coordinate and work independently. Okay. Now this slide is good because I think you had a Gantt chart, but this is kind of hard to read. But this thing, you could just put dates. The design is done here. We're going to build it here, and we're going to test it here, because no one can read that slide. Okay, so if you just put down the due dates of when this is going to be done, that's fantastic. This is more what you're going to do, and it's generic, but do you know what the power supply is? Is it going to be battery? What kind of battery? What kind of microprocessor are you going to target? I could have drawn this very quickly. Try to carefully put in some detail so that it shows that you've been working on it. All right, timeline. So, yeah, that's the price of the device, but that's really not what we're worried about. Oh, you're going to use the AT88? Okay. All right, now I see which one you want to use. I do tend to like the TI part, and if you need help, I can help you with the TI. That one I can't. But if that's what you want to use, that's great. $50 for that? I'm not quite sure. Is that really? Maybe we don't want to do that. And it looks like, yeah, you're buying shields. Well, can the final project just be a bunch of shields? Then it won't really be shrunk. What's also needed here is for 5 people, I need to see 5 people's engineering time, right? So, if it's a 3-unit course, that's 10 hours a week. times 5, I need to see that many hours of work. And you can put it in terms of engineer hours on what task, or convert it to money by multiplying each engineering hour by 150. Yeah, I have a feeling this is slide's not quite done. That's okay. But yeah, where is this going to be used? Here's the conclusions, and yeah, references. What I don't see is some kind of preliminary work, a spice simulation, decisions about, hey, this is what kind of battery is going to be done, what kind of power supply, are we going to use a buck boost or things like that. Okay, that would really strengthen this. So if we just go to the rubric, let's see. That doesn't work. If you give an enthusiastic thing, graphics, yeah, there's the text is fine, but there's not like one graphic really, not an eye-catching one. Okay, you're professional. This needs a little bit of work about specifically what you're going to do. I talked to you about the costs. You really need to research a little more what's been done out there, because things have been done and you need to mention it. Questions, we don't know what the questions will be. Resources, what are you going to need? What kind of test equipment? I don't think that's even in the slide. Skill set I mentioned, and the references. So you still have time. You got it into me ahead of time, so that's great. So read through this rubric, and I bet you can get those slides in tonight. And I will just stop